I come to tell the church, sometimes we march it when we need to be praying. Sometimes we got a petition going when we need to get incense going up to heaven. We need to talk to. Oh, some of y'all don't like it because you always jumping in the hottest march, whatever's going on lately. You always jumping over into it without praying. But before you jump in something, pray about what you're going to get into. I know black lives matter, but white lives matter. Unborn lives matter. And so before you jump into something, pray about it. Pastor seemed so strong. He seemed so anointed. You know what his secret is? He done learned to talk to God about it. Oh, don't get on Facebook and talk about it. Get in the book and talk about it. Bury your face in the book. Talk to God about it. Anybody happy this morning? See, I done had to talk to him. Because I was on the edge. Y'all don't know nothing about being on the edge. That's a dangerous place to be and ain't got nobody to talk to. See, I've been on the edge and you were asleep, couldn't call you no how. But what I love about God, that the scripture said he neither slumber nor sleep. Somebody on the edge this morning, you gonna have to talk to God about what's pushing you to the cliff. And some things just don't push you to the cliff. They keep pushing until they push you over. And if you don't talk to God about those issues, it's going to push you over the edge. Not me, Pastor. I said I know you said a lot of stuff, sister. But when you on the edge, I've had issues that I couldn't talk to my wife about. I know she loved me. I know she would listen. But there are certain issues. It ain't that the person won't listen. You can't communicate it. See, I dropped one on you then. You can't really explain where you're at. Can't really get them to see what this problem is doing to me. Can't get them to understand how what happened hurt me and left me vulnerable, left me not wanting to trust nobody, left me wondering who in my corner and who again, left me wondering if anybody loved me, including the one that said he'd never leave nor forsake. See, when you got some issues, the only one you can talk to who can do something about it is God. You see that? That's the reason the enemy, when he know you got issues, problems, and difficulties, that's the reason he strategizes to keep you out of prayer. Because he know if you pray, good God Almighty, am I in the house, Deacon? I say I'm in the house, Deacon Cochran. Because he know if you pray, he know God to help you with that issue. He know God to help you with that problem. He know God to give you wisdom with what you're going through. And so he strategizes to keep you out of prayer. Ooh, hey. But if we love God the way we say we love him, we couldn't go a day without talking to him. Come on. Because love has a way of making you want to talk to somebody that you love and you know love you. Woo! Hey. Even sometimes it take everything you got not to put on a person what you don't need to put on him or her. It's just that you love them and they love you so much. And so if you ain't careful, This is the problem. When folks say they love God, but never talk to him. Oh, I got to take you back. I'm going to take you back. If you're over 15, ask that person, say, can you remember the first time you ever felt like you loved it somebody? Oh, yeah, I loved it, them. Can you remember? It ain't no sin to recall, but when you felt like you had fallen in love, folk couldn't stop you from talking to that person. Ooh, some of us back in school, we risked being late to class. We weren't stepping inside that classroom. We were hanging right by the door, waiting for them to come so we could have a minute or two just to talk. Oh, come on now. You used to talk on the phone and be sleepy and tired and be saying stupid stuff like, you hang up first. I ain't sleep. Go ahead. I'm listening. No, you sleep. You hang up. Okay, you gonna call me more? Yeah, I'm gonna call you more. Hey, I love you too. I love you more. You don't love me more than I love you. No, I love you more. When was the last time you went into prayer and you said, God, I'm here because I just want to love on you and I just want to talk to you? Woo! See, we ain't clapping because some of us have allowed issues to separate us from God. And he's the one you need to talk to. Never make the mistake of complaining about an issue when you need to be praying about that issue. Don't make that mistake, because I've did it. Don't make that mistake of letting that problem stress you out when you need God to empower you to deal with that problem. Because that's the type of problem that have stressed out a whole lot of people. It's been a whole lot of folk that were going through issues, problems, and difficulties and said they could handle it. But in the end, it proved so they couldn't handle it. A lot of folk have been dealing with issues who said, I'm okay. But in the end, we saw you were not okay. You were anything but okay. I'm fine. No, you're not. Because there are some problems that we can't handle. There are some things too heavy for you and me. There are some things that can just weigh on us to the point to where they will break us if we don't have the right person to talk to. See, the church in Acts 12 was going through something. Herod had killed James, the brother of John. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he also arrested Peter and had planned to put Peter to death. But notice Acts 12 and 4. So the Bible said, so when he had arrested him, he put him in prison, delivered him to 4 squads of soldiers to keep him, intending to bring him before the people after Passover. Peter was therefore kept in prison, but constant prayer was offered to God for him by the church. Do you see that? Peter was therefore kept in prison. Peter was trapped. Peter was locked down. Peter was put in a position where he could not move. And he had a death sentence on his head. We gonna kill Peter. But then the church said we got to pray because we ain't powerful enough to break him out. We got to pray about this. Tell your neighbor there are some things. If you gonna get a breakthrough, if you're going to get the victory, shout to them, you got to pray about it. Tell your neighbor you got to pray about it. If you're coming out, you gotta listen. The church decided to get in prayer without ceasing for God to deliver Peter. This is what impresses me about this church, is that they didn't go down to where Herod had him and march around saying, free Peter. They didn't get a petition going that said you need to let Peter go. I come to tell the church, sometimes we march it when we need to be praying. Sometimes we got a petition going when we need to get incense going up to heaven. We need to talk to. Oh, some of y'all don't like it because you always jumping in the hottest march, whatever's going on lately. You always jumping over into it without praying. But before you jump in something, pray about what you're going to get into. I know black lives matter, but white lives matter. Unborn lives matter. And so before you jump into something, pray about it. See, when folk do you wrong, you got to know prayer still works. You ain't got to take matters in your own hand. When folk do you wrong, pray. I'll put prayer on my enemies. I said I'll put prayer on my enemies. I'll put prayer on two-faced folk. I'll put prayer on petty folk. I won't get down on a petty person level. I'll put prayer on the petty person. Do you not know, even when you look back at when marches was successful, when you look at when petitions and so forth was successful, especially when you talk about the great civil rights movement, the one thing the church miss out on today is looking back at that movement and knowing that it started in the church. It started with prayer. Before they walked the streets, they got on the altar. They got down and prayed, got a strategy, got a plan. Oh, come on. I come to tell somebody, if you would pray, God will give you a strategy about that problem.